You hadn't even started speaking, and the other person already jumped to conclusions about you. It might seem unfair, but it's neuroscience. In just milliseconds, our brain assesses whether someone appears trustworthy, threatening, or authoritative, based purely on their looks and initial behavior. This quick judgment is known as the halo effect, when a single positive trait, like a confident smile or firm posture, colors our perception of everything else. And the reverse is also true. That's why, in any important interaction, a meeting, a job interview, a request, nonverbal language speaks first, before any words. The way you enter a room, your gaze, your first few gestures, even the silence in those opening seconds, everything communicates. First impressions aren't fixed by speech, they're shaped by presence. And when that presence is strategic, it creates room for something even more powerful, subtle command of attention. Before someone even understands what you're saying, your body has already told an entire story. Crossed arms, slouched shoulders, restless feet, all of these are cues that, unintentionally, may reveal insecurity, anxiety, or resistance. The fascinating part? We often don't realize we're doing these things, but the person in front of us picks up on them, even unconsciously, and adjusts their perception accordingly. Your body language is the channel through which confidence leaks, or asserts itself. A straight posture, open gestures, and focused eyes project immediate credibility. Hidden hands, sharp movements, or a stiff face, on the other hand, can cast doubt on your authority. In professional settings, these subtle cues make the difference between being truly heard or completely overlooked. And even more importantly, when your gestures align with your words, the message becomes exponentially more impactful. When your body says the same thing as your voice, the other person's defenses drop. That's when the perfect moment to influence, genuinely and effortlessly, emerges. The human face is a window we can't always close. Microexpressions are tiny, involuntary facial movements that last just fractions of a second and expose authentic emotions, even when we try to hide them. Anger, fear, contempt, surprise, joy, sadness, and disgust, these 7 expressions are universal, recognized across all cultures, and they slip out before the conscious mind can intervene. During a tense conversation, for instance, someone might smile politely, but their eyes show discomfort. A quick furrowed brow, a twitch at the corner of the mouth, or a brief moment of tightness, these all speak louder than 1,000 words. Learning to read these subtle signs can uncover disagreement, deception, or unease, even in the smoothest of conversations. Becoming attuned to microexpressions is like gaining a silent superpower. You begin to pick up on what's left unsaid, and that shifts how you handle every interaction. Even more, by recognizing these emotions in others, you naturally adapt your own body language, fostering a powerful sense of harmony. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. The tone of your voice carries intent, emotion, and even authority. A simple phrase like, "Are you okay?" can sound caring, critical, or indifferent, depending on vocal delivery. That's why great leaders, teachers, and communicators train not only their message but also their delivery. High-pitched, fast, or flat voices tend to cause fatigue or uncertainty. Lower tones, steady pace, and natural variation suggest clarity, control, and empathy. And pauses, especially, are powerful tools. They invite reflection, create emphasis, and sometimes say more than words ever could. If the body establishes presence, the voice commands attention. When both work together, with intention and harmony, you don't just communicate, you lead. That's when your message isn't just heard, it's absorbed. Hearing is not the same as listening. And it's even further from showing that you're fully present. Active listening goes beyond the words, it's expressed through your whole body. When you make eye contact, lean slightly forward, and respond with subtle expressions, you're silently saying, "I'm here with you." And that completely shifts the tone of the conversation. Most people want to be heard. But what truly creates connection is the feeling of being understood. That's why split attention, glances at phones, or blank expressions can break emotional rapport instantly. Active listening, on the other hand, dismantles resistance. It invites collaboration, eases tension, and shows emotional maturity. It's also a form of influence. When you show up with presence, the other person is more likely to open up. And in that moment, true communication begins, not through speech, but through the attention your body expresses. Many people fear silence in conversations, as if it signals weakness or awkwardness. But in reality, well-placed silence is one of the most powerful tools in communication. It slows the pace, creates productive tension, and gives weight to your message. In negotiations, silence often compels the other person to fill the gap, and sometimes reveal more than they intended. Silence also signals self-control. While impulsive responses may show desperation or insecurity, a measured silence communicates thoughtfulness, confidence, and emotional mastery. It makes you the person who thinks before reacting, a trait highly valued in any professional setting. More than just an absence of sound, silence is a presence. It conveys strength without confrontation, influence without aggression. And when used strategically between the right words, it makes your message magnetic. Ever notice how two people who are truly in sync start mirroring each other's movements without even realizing it? That's called the mirror effect. It's an unconscious reaction the brain activates when we feel connected to someone. The best part? You can use this effect intentionally to build deep rapport. By subtly mirroring someone's posture, speech rhythm, or gestures, you make them feel understood, accepted, and more open to connection. But careful, this isn't about robotic imitation. The magic lies in subtlety, in matching the natural rhythm of the interaction. This technique is widely used in sales, mediation, and leadership, precisely because it builds a bridge of empathy without a single word needing to be spoken. And where there's rapport, there's trust. And where trust exists, influence happens with less resistance, often without the other person even realizing it. Picture someone saying, "I'm fine," while their shoulders are tense, eyes distant, and hands fidgeting. Something feels off, right? That kind of mismatch between verbal and nonverbal cues creates a powerful noise, distrust. Even if the listener can't explain why, they feel it, something's not right. When words and body don't match, the brain trusts the body. That's because nonverbal signals are evolutionarily older and much harder to fake. Which is why, in an argument, there's no point saying "calm down" if your tone is sharp or your eyes are full of judgment. The key to influential communication lies in emotional congruence. When your words come from a coherent inner state, your body naturally aligns, and your message lands clearly. That's where the power of silent persuasion lives. In professional environments, nonverbal language becomes a competitive edge. Long before you present a project or lead a team, your body is already telling a silent story: confidence, clarity, anxiety, or doubt. Those who master this subtle communication gain more attention, more respect, and often, better results. A leader who walks into a room with a straight posture, calm steps, and direct eye contact inspires authority without ever raising their voice. A team member who listens attentively, responds with appropriate expressions, and stays fully present during meetings will naturally stand out, even without saying much. This kind of subtle influence is the foundation of modern leadership. It doesn't impose, it inspires. It doesn't control, it attracts. And the best part? The more authentic and natural your body presence is, the more powerful it becomes. Mastering nonverbal communication doesn't require natural talent, it requires conscious practice. The first exercise is simple but powerful: record yourself speaking, then watch it back on mute. Notice your posture, expressions, gestures. What is your body saying? Does your image match the message you want to send? The second exercise is even more discreet: silently observe others' conversations. In a coffee shop, a meeting, or even in videos, try to interpret the emotions without hearing the words. This sharpens your emotional awareness. Finally, practice presence. In every conversation, aim to be fully there, body and mind. Lean in slightly, maintain eye contact, react with subtle gestures. Nonverbal communication isn't about rigid control. It's about awareness and intention. And the more you train, the more it becomes a part of who you are. At that point, you don't just communicate, you stand out. Did you notice? The most powerful influence doesn't shout, it whispers. It's in the posture, the gaze, the pause, the way you listen. Those who master nonverbal language don't need to demand presence, it's simply felt. Now it's up to you: practice, observe, grow. Communication is an art, and you've just taken a huge step toward mastering it. If this video helped you, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next ones. And of course, share it with that friend who speaks well, but whose body gives it all away. See you in the next one.